Hello, welcome to Cardboard and Plastic. Today's video, I got some cards in the mail. I'm going to show those off. In the background, I got one of my Wheaties cards. I've been working on 3D printing frames for my Wheaties wall project that I'm working on. And I got 2 orders now in the mail coming back from SGC. And I'm going to talk about USPS for my 3rd order that I sent out. A little drama in that one, so stay tuned. So the first thing is I'm working on making these 3D printed cases for my Wheaties cards. This is a black frame. One of the viewers said maybe you should try kind of like a navy blue to try to match the blue borders for the Wheaties cards. So this is what the blue would look like. And the other option I was going to do was going to be orange. I ordered orange, and when I got it, the PLA that I use for the 3D printer, it always comes wrapped up. This was like used PLA, like somebody like probably bought it, didn't like the color, and sent it back. And I kind of looked at it and like, wow, that's going to be too much. It's going to be like a big traffic cone in my office area. So I'm going to really, I think between the blue and the black, in the comments below, let me know which one you prefer. What I'm going to do with these is on the back, I have N52 magnets that I bought, really kind of cheap. I think they were $8 for 120 of them. Two magnets will hold them up. However, I'm going to probably put 4 just to be safe, so it has a nice sturdy connection to the wall. I'm going to show you that next week when I start putting things together. Actually, I took a little bit of a break from like even worrying about that because of my last SGC order kind of just flustered me a little bit. So working on that. So in the comments below, navy blue or black. I know which one I'm thinking about, but I want to hear other people's opinions. And I'll show you my pickups that I had for the last few days. Number 1, whenever I see these for like $40-50, I pick it up. This is the cognac version of the Paul Goldschmidt. I don't know what Boone is doing with the Yankees there. I mean, I know that Ben Rice hits the ball hard, but like everybody said, like in 2024, he's the unluckiest hitter. In 2025, he's the unluckiest hitter again. He just hits the ball hard at people. I don't think he's unlucky. I think it's just who he is. A lot of people are thinking that, and I think Boone's the same thing, kind of like looking at the analytics of how hard he hits the ball. I think we've seen enough of Ben Rice, but he's still getting bats over Paul Goldschmidt, but I definitely think Paul Goldschmidt's a future Hall of Famer. With an MVP and 2 runner-ups. Pretty decent WAR. It's going to get better, and he probably will hit 400 home runs before the end of his career. And I also think that these parallels and base rookies are dead at this point. With all the numbering and how many base rookies they make. Like for the 2011, a lot of like set registry people, they want like the Paul Goldschmidt, like the base rookie, in like a PSA 10. But there's so many of those things. There's not many of the parallels. So I think that over time, I think just the top parallels are going to be the ones collected, like the blacks and the golds and the ones that have lower print runs. The second card I got, and I think this person was selling it for, I think like $90. and I think I got it for $75 with an offer. Just nobody was buying it. Beautiful. I think these are cards that you can get for a great price. If you look around, a lot of these are coming down in price too. You can probably get a pretty decent graded version of the 63, the 65 Topps Aaron's, just beautiful cards. This card I got, Gus Bell. This is going to make my set complete once I get my other SGC order in, which I'll talk about a little bit. And this one is card number 19, but it's shared with, I believe, George Kell. So George Kell and Gus Bell are both number 19 in that set. So you don't find as many of those. And I think now in 1954, I might upgrade some of the cards if I ever see them for a great price. But I got that set complete. And the last other card here, this is another set I'm putting together. This is the Yogi Berra for the 1951 Topps. And now, well, I think I'm just down to the Bob Feller and Monty Irvin for the big cards that I got to get for that. I think I'm like 8 away from completing this set. Well, also, I think there's 2 variations with those 8 cards that I need. So, happy to get that. I'm going to put that into my binder. I do need the wider back of that, the version of that card, because I am eventually going to put both the cardboard and the white stock, both of those sets together. So that's a long-term project. So those are my pickups for the past week. And what's going on? So I was hoping to bring you a video this week of my SGC order. So they sent it out last week. By the way, it's all tall boys. And usually with SGC, it goes into post processing for the grading. And typically within 24 hours, at most 2 days, you actually have the grades pop. For my order, the grades didn't pop, and it was over a week, and I contacted them, and they contacted back pretty quick, and they didn't pop for another 2 days. So I think I got that order back, like they say 15 to 20 days. With everything, I think it was like 30 days, business days. But it was shipped last week, and now, I don't know, usually when they ship it, it just goes from the facility to West Palm, Florida for the distribution center. Then they fly it out to San Francisco, and then it goes to Sacramento, or it goes to Fresno to my house. I get it back within 3 days. This one, I have no idea. I mean, it went to another distribution center that it typically doesn't go to in Florida. And then it went to Louisiana. And then it went to Texas, another place in Texas. And it's just been sitting in Texas. So hopefully I get that one back. It was supposed to get here on Monday this week. And then it's probably not going to be here until next week. And then I have a second order that just popped yesterday with 30 cards. And I have a lot of Wheaties cards in those. Some pretty cool cards to show off there. So that order should be back next week as well. And then my last order. So I shipped it on June 23rd on a Monday. And typically when I ship with USPS priority, it gets to Florida in 3 days, 4 days max, right? I've sent tons of things to SGC, CGC, which is down there as well. Always goes from my post office to Fresno, Fresno to Sacramento, Sacramento to West Palm Beach, and then it goes to the Boca Raton the same day, gets delivered. This order, I shipped it on June 23rd. It arrived to Fresno June 24th. Left that day, got to Sacramento that night. And then nothing. I contacted them back the next week, did a missing mail. I'm kind of worried, like, where is this thing? Like, typically it always gets there in 3 to 4 days. And at least somebody from USPS contacted me back, but it was the person in the Boca Raton for the Florida. They had just as much information as I did. And then on Thursday, the following week, I get an alert. And the alert says it arrived at USPS Barrigada, GU. And I'm like, what is... I'm trying to think in my head, like, okay, I don't know many states begin with the letter G. Like Georgia, that's not GU. I'm like, what is Barrigada, GU? And I look it up, and they sent my package to Guam. So what I guess happened was, whenever they do the packages, like from Sacramento, everything goes to like San Francisco. And at San Francisco, instead of going to Florida, I guess it got mixed up and they set it on a boat. And it arrived on July 3rd to Guam. And so it did go to Honolulu pretty quickly, which kind of made me a little bit less worried. I was actually just glad that it got scanned somewhere. I'm like, okay, my package is not lost. And with USPS, the cards that I sent, it's really hard to prove their value. Even though probably value-wise in there, I probably had about, I would say, $1,500 of cards. But it's hard to prove the value. And I usually just do no insurance. I've never done insurance. I never do any like extended warranties, any insurance. I'm well ahead of the game by doing so. So I'm like, if something ever happens, I made out for my life without using insurance. But this, like, it kind of got me sick to my stomach because a lot of the cards I had in there were like 1952 Wheaties that had the full blue border of like Yogi, Campy, and Stan Musial, right? So, like, those are some pretty big cards in there, and they had the full blue border, which is kind of hard to find unless you want to pay some big money for those cards. So it kind of just sat in Honolulu in Hawaii for July 4th. And then this morning, I finally got the confirmation that it got to West Palm Beach, then Boca Raton, but then it never got delivered. However, I got the email from SGC saying, we received your package. And I'm just a lot less stressed now. And this is kind of like the thing, like in the back of my head, it's always like, why do I need to grade cards, right? Every single time you put things in the mail, you ship things away, it's always that chance, right? For things to get lost, things to get stolen. And really funny with this though, like I've never had issues before. Except in that order is a 1952 Bowman Yogi Berra. And that card is the only card ever that I bought from eBay that never got to me. And I had to tell the seller, like, it got lost and like this card disappeared, right? It's over a month. I need a refund. And then out of the blue, like another month later, that Yogi Bear, it shows up. The package came and it had tire marks on the package itself. Like it just got like run over and like put in the back of a warehouse, I guess. And I did contact the seller back, and I paid them PayPal to pay him back for the card. And because the card came back, probably maybe had a little bit of damage from how it was treated, but it was such a great price of the card. I just paid the seller and said, great, I got the card after 2 months. They were kind of shocked that it arrived. So it was that same Yogi Berra card that I sent in that package, and that Yogi doesn't like the mail. It just had to go to Guam for a little vacation there. So let me know in the comments below, have you ever had a package lost or stolen? And do you actually buy insurance? And my collection is now getting to the point where I'm actually thinking about getting some type of collector's insurance. I don't know, like, so in the comments below, if you do have collector's insurance, just kind of like let me know, like per month, like how much is it? I know like some of the companies actually have their own insurance, right? You pay for the collector's insurance, and then it covers you in terms of shipping. So I'm really thinking about doing that now. I typically don't worry about things like that, but I think I might get some. So I rambled on too long. Thank you for watching the video. I got some mail days coming up next week. And I'm going to build that Wheaties wall. So I'm going to got a couple of surprises for that. I'll show you what I'm doing with that probably next week when I start doing a little bit of construction in my office. So again, thank you for watching. Have a great day and keep on collecting.